What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by as ever. Well, at the end of a fairly decent week for Leeds United, that's now 2 wins on the spin at home. And this is obviously me having a quick chat with regards to the review of the game itself. Now, I went to the game on Wednesday and was pleased, was happy with how it worked. I think it's important that the first thing to note with regards to Saturday's game against Bristol City is quite clearly Bristol City had a 1,000,000% more ambition than what QPR actually had within the game and actually came to play. 2-1 win, happy. Should have been more, but still happy. I'd never felt at any point in time that we were under any real stress and that it was, twitchy bum time or anything like that. So what I wanted to do was kind of go through the players and kind of give my review, if you like, for how each of those players played. So you've got Stroik and Rodon that were in the central defence. It is by far our strongest centre back pairing that we have at the club, 100,000,000%. They trust each other, they understand each other, they communicate well, they do very, very well. For me, it needs to be them continuously rather than chopping and changing it, putting Liam Cooper in there or anything like that. It just needs to be those two for me. I'd love it for them to be for the remainder of the season with Cresswell as backup, and then obviously Cooper as backup as well. And we had left back Byram. Again, Byram, he doesn't put a foot wrong. He's just Mr. Reliable, and at 30 years old, he still plays just with that young enthusiasm. He feels like a very, very good player. And I think the fact that maybe he's had a few injuries will help him prolong his career a little bit more, just in terms of that he's not had the constant battering that you get with playing football matches over a sustained period of time. Yes, he's been injured, but hopefully, that'll do quite well. I think he's just... It's just brilliant to see. And then the masterstroke of the entire thing, because obviously we saw the lineup and we couldn't quite work out what was going on. Obviously you had Kamara, Ampadu and Gray all in the same team. Bristol City said it themselves at the end of the game, the assistant manager, that they thought that Ampadu would be playing at right back. And I think that's how they kind of set themselves up. And then having Gray at right back was just... You forget sometimes that kid is 17 years old. He's tall, he's strong, he's not scrawny, he holds the ball up well, he holds himself well, he tackles well. His vision, his overall ability to get himself out of certain situations is really, really, really good, and he had a phenomenally good game for me. Absolutely brilliant and deserved Boost Drinks man of the match. I think I would have put him down for man of the match as well. Just his overall play. And like I said, you forget that kid is 17 years old and he's only going to get better. Just brilliant as far as I'm concerned. Ampadu, not his best game, but still a good game for Ampadu. It's just, even not being his best game is still better than some of the players that we had at our team last season. Great game. Kamara, fantastic. Slots in really, really well. And although it was him and Ampadu that were playing for the Southampton game where we had the loss, the spin that he did for the first goal was brilliant in terms of his build-up play for that goal itself. So overall, pleased and happy with that. Somerville, again, tricky, plays the game really, really well. Fast, decisive, just needs to get that little bit of... Sometimes he has this habit of not tracking back or his decision-making just being slightly off. But he's improving and improving as each game goes on. So again, he had a decent game as far as Dan James, just doing Dan James things. I just have a lot of time for him, particularly given at the start of this year where he was one of the ones that, came out and openly said, I'm looking forward to next season. I'm looking forward to getting on and doing and pushing and moving everything forward. So yeah, great game. Took his goal really, really well. The build-up play for that goal was fantastic as well. So you can't be anything more than Really, really happy with that. Pirro took his goal really, really well. Pirro's probably the only person that scores that goal that way. Rather than just trying to hammer it at goal, he placed it into the space that he saw in the D. It was funny because Fark said that he's not here trying to tell everybody that, I told you so. And you just know that he was going into the presser after the match going, please, somebody just ask me about it. I really need somebody to ask me about this so I can just go, I told you so, but without saying that I told you so. So much more involved in this game as compared to QPR, played a lot better for me. And then Rutter, I just love the boy. He's got so much talent. He's got so much ability. He's so strong, and players just don't know how to deal with him. They're not sure how to defend him. There was that in the second half where he played the ball on. I can't remember who it was for, but he played the ball on. The pass didn't stick, so he chased his own pass down, recovered the ball, put the ball in, and we had a chance on goal. It was just... His whole should have scored, don't get me wrong. Had he had scored that goal, that would have been one of the best goal of the contender season, easily, just because of the build-up play that had gone on, the little lovely step over from Somerville, so Byron pick it up, whip the ball in and everything. But just, it was everything but scoring the goal. And for me, his goal that he did actually score in the second half to make it 3-1, that was chalked off for offside, it wasn't offside. Bristol City's goal as well, just as an additional point, I don't think it was a corner. I'm pretty sure it wasn't, but it's the Championship and it's refereeing and we don't like VAR, so you have to kind of take the rough with the smooth and those types of things. I think our all-round play was a lot better. I think our the team, you can see as a whole, are coming together a lot more. They're starting to understand each other's roles a lot more. It looks like a team. That's the thing. And somebody put it on Twitter, and I have to say that I do agree with the sentiment that I think for most, if not all fans, there has been a massive Bielsa-shaped hole in everybody's heart. And Farker and this team are going in the right direction to start to fill that up. I think what we need to work on, if we're going to be hypercritical, is just our ability to finish teams off. We should have been out of sight. Absolutely should have been out of sight. But, Somerville, any other day, the keeper doesn't make the save on that one and Somerville scores it. So, like I said, it's the same thing with us for most games. There'll be a moment where their keeper makes 3 or 4 really, really good saves that keeps them in the game. But again, there's no teams that I feel that are existentially better than us in this league. Obviously, you've got Leicester and Ipswich, but Leicester and Ipswich, it's given the number of games in this season, it's impossible to maintain that form unless they're just absolutely heroic, which, there's every chance that they could be, but I do maintain that they will have their Christmas/Easter fall off thing that they usually do. So it'll just be interesting to see how that kind of works itself out and how it goes. Where we're at the moment is exactly where I would like us to be. We're sitting 5th, happy, doing really, really well. Given the summer that we had, again, you can't knock the players for where we are. And it's really, really odd. We've got a team that is by far better than the team that we have. Even the players that are just coming in are doing almost cameos now. So, like, you've got Gruev that's coming in just to shore everything up. Again, playing very, very well. Got nothing. Bamford coming on again and playing well. There seems to be that really nice kind of cohesion going on, which is something that we didn't have previously at all last season. And it's just it's just nice. It's nice to have a team that you can be invested in again and a manager that you can be invested in again, because you kind of trust what he's saying. We're on that 2 points per game trajectory, there or thereabouts. It'll just be interesting to see how the rest of the season pans out. The international break is the international break. We can't do anything about it. I think, if we're all being honest, we would like the games to keep coming thick and fast. But the thing is, with us and our team and our supporters in particular, we do have that faction of supporters who do like to be uber just gloom, and I think it's just the case because we're Yorkshiremen and that Yorkshiremen and women, I should say, sorry, Yorkshire people. I think that's the politically correct way of saying it. We're from that ilk of people that just it tends to be a bit more grey than it does, you know, sunshine, and it could be a 2-year project, or we could actually go up through the playoffs. Who wouldn't love that? That'd be ace. But for me, Farke is absolutely the right man for the job, 100%. The only copybook block that we've got, really, Birmingham game, Southampton game for me. That's it. Everything else I've kind of been happy with. Yes, we had the draws, which were slightly frustrating, but we're still trying to gel as a team. You look at Leicester, and bar some of the players that have left, they're essentially the same team. Whereas you look at us, and we are, for want of a better phrase, an absolutely brand new team. When you look at it, you've got Pirro up front with Rutter. You've got Somerville now playing more of a prominent role. You've got Dan James now playing more of a prominent role in the midfield. We've got Ampadu and Gray. And then the defence, as I said, you know, Rodon, Byram, and then whoever, well, when he's back, Jed Spence, which is effectively, it's a brand new team, a brand new team. And the fact that we've managed to gel as quickly as what we have done to where we are now is a really, really good thing as far as I'm concerned. Overall, happy. We just need to keep the momentum up, and there's some decent games coming up after the international break, which hopefully we should be able to garner some decent points. And then the real test comes, I think it's the 3rd of November when we play Leicester. That's going to be the acid test to see where we actually are and see what we're actually doing as a team. That's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, click the like button. If you're new to the channel, please also don't forget to subscribe, turn the notification bells on. But yeah, that's me done. Happy boy. International break coming up. Roll on the next few games. Keep it going. Marching on together.